Progressive Insurance with its Name Your Price tool, a way to see coverage options based on a driver's budget. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Price and coverage match limited by state law. And from Carnegie Corporation of New York.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm A. Martinez.
And I'm Layla Fulton. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert ends tonight. CBS canceled it even though it was the highest-rated late-night program on network TV. NPR critic at large Eric Deggans says Colbert's legacy is how he changed to meet cultural moments.
After hosting more than 3,000 episodes of TV stretched over 20 years and 2 television networks, Stephen Colbert's impact might just be summed up in a single word. Truthiness. That's Colbert in 2005, speaking on the very first episode of his Comedy Central show, The Colbert Report. Back then, he played a character, a clueless cable TV news opinionator who defined truthiness as believing something is true, even if it's not supported by fact.
The truthiness is anyone can read the news to you. I promise to feel the news at you.
On Thursday, Colbert ends a near 11-year run as host of The Late Show. Critics suspect that CBS might also be moving to silence a critic of President Trump, but the network insists it was purely a financial decision. But if Colbert was eventually brought down by the truthiness he constantly made fun of, comic Roy Wood Jr. says his example still inspires others.
I think that Colbert, by and large, illustrates the importance of holding fast to your beliefs.
Wood, who also hosts CNN's news satire Have I Got News for You, worked as a correspondent for The Daily Show years after Colbert was dead. He says Colbert embodied a central ethic every good satirist must follow. Always speak your truth.
This era was the era of the consequences of speaking truth to power. You know, he didn't blink, he didn't back behind. In fact, he went harder.
Hassan Minhaj, another Daily Show alum, says Colbert showed how satirists could evolve with their audience, going from a top Daily Show correspondent to The Colbert Report, and finally The Late Show.
What Stephen did is he was meeting the moment. When you're hosting a nightly program, every day is this new moment.
Colbert learned sketch comedy and satire at Second City in Chicago, landing at The Daily Show in the late 1990s. Minhaj said that even though he never worked with him on The Daily Show, he studied Colbert's work to learn the job.
There's a famous Stephen Colbert email about how to do a great field piece. It really was almost like basketball fundamentals, but for performing the political satire.
That satire only expanded after the 2005 debut of The Colbert Report, where Colbert's performance was so powerful that he ended up stunned by testifying in America before a real-time congressional subcommittee broadcast on CNN.
Here on my back.
Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Abe Martinez in Los Angeles, California.
And I'm Leila Faldin in Washington, D.C. Good morning. The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is already the third largest on record. Over 600 cases and 189 deaths are suspected, according to the World Health Organization. The outbreak was announced less than a week ago, but health officials say it's likely been spreading for a couple of months. That's raising questions about whether the Trump administration's massive cuts to foreign aid delayed detection. Here to discuss, we've got NPR's global health correspondent Jonathan Lambert with us in studio. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
So why was this virus spreading for so long undetected?
It's kind of a perfect storm. First, the species of Ebola that's spreading is a rare one that field tests can't really pick up. So they had to ship virus samples to a lab in Kinshasa, DRC's capital, more than 600 miles away, and that took time. This region in Ituri province also has a lot of ongoing conflict, which complicates things.
Okay, so this rarer form of Ebola combined with where this is happening, it made it harder to detect the cases?
Yeah, undoubtedly. But here's the thing. The U.S. government has invested millions and millions of dollars, mostly through USAID and CDC, to be ready for this kind of outbreak. That's especially true in DRC because it's kind of a hotspot for Ebola. In 2025, the Trump administration cut a lot of that funding, and many of the people I've spoken to this week, both inside and outside DRC, think that aid cuts have made the situation even worse. I talked to Grace Tran, who used to work on Ebola preparedness for USAID.
Outbreaks are always going to occur, but it's more the fact that it's circulated for so long, and this thing was much bigger than we've realized. I think that part is related to cut.
Okay, so John, what was USAID doing in the region that might have helped detect the outbreak sooner?
One simple thing, logistics. Things like shipping virus samples for testing. WHO has said that flight cancellations delayed that.
You can get involved on that number. My favorite is the person, I'm not going to blow up their spot, but they're texting our number thinking that we are a regional radio show, I think in like Seattle or something. So every couple of days I get, hi Mike and Mary, I just wanted to say, yes, I did put some bird seed out for the birds outside. And I really like your show. What radio show is this? The other day I may have taken my dog off leash. It was very fun. I like the name that
Adirondacks, Adirondack Auto in Elizabethtown has the deals worth celebrating. Here's what you get to declare. 2.9% APR for 72 months, $3,500 bonus cash, and no payments for 90 days. When financed through Stellantis Financial Services on select 2026 models. Take stock number AAL143, a brand new 2026 Ram 1500 Warlock with a Hemi 5.7-liter V8. You're already down $3,500 before we even talk about your trade. Come see this truck or any of our new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler models at Adirondack Auto, 7440 Route 9 in Elizabethtown, or give us a call at 518-873-6386. Adirondack Auto, your truck, your deal, your declaration. Offers on select 2026 models, $3,500 bonus cash, and 2.9% APR for 72 months with 90 days, no payments when financed through Stellantis Financial Services. Must take delivered by 6/1/26. See dealer for complete details. Offers subject to change.
Mike and Mary, getting you from wake up to workday with plenty of fun in between. Join the conversation on Facebook. Just find and follow Star 92.9.
Badipo Mboyamba told me that USAID has invested heavily in training and supporting these workers, and even just community members, to recognize potential outbreaks and respond. And she said it took a lot of work to build those relationships, since many of these communities are pretty wary of outsiders.
When you dismantle those programs, you no longer have your frontline eyes and ears on the ground that can alert you, and so it's very easy for an outbreak to spread very quickly.
And where this outbreak is, with lots of conflict, humanitarian workers are often those eyes and ears, but their funding dropped nearly 80% from the cuts. One organization, the International Rescue Committee, had covered 5 zones in Ituri before the cuts, after they had to scale back to 2. And their DRC director told me that left the region more exposed.
And what's the U.S. government's response been to this?
In a statement, the State Department said that it was false to claim that USAID reform has negatively impacted their ability to respond. And on Tuesday, they announced they'd fund up to 50 treatment clinics. But to Badipo Mbayamba, that just doesn't quite make up for what's been lost.
It is so unfortunate and so sad to see all the work that we did just like disappear.
And she says it's hard to rebuild these kinds of relationships. That'll take time, and right now the response is already behind.
That's NPR's Jonathan Lambert. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
For many Muslims, making the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca is a once-in-a-lifetime experience and a sacred obligation. But the U.S. State Department is asking Americans to rethink any travel to Saudi Arabia because of the war on Iran. Nargis Rahman from member station WDET in Detroit reports.
Jubair Ahmed and his mom Shamima Akhtar live in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Akhtar greets me in Bangla at the door. Jubair Ahmed is a pharmacist. In January, he found out he and his mom's applications to perform Hajj were accepted after months of waiting. He dropped to his knees and performed a prayer of gratitude.
Honestly, that feeling, I still can't find the words to express. I was in tears, did a sajda shukr, and then I hugged my mom, and both of us just were in tears.
His mom, Akhtar, is 63 years old. Akhtar is looking forward to going this year while she's still physically able to make the rigorous journey. It's a dream she's had for more than 30 years. Ahmed and Akhtar are among a few thousand pilgrims from the United States who will join the 1.5 million people this year performing Hajj in Saudi Arabia. Wahid Al-Fiqi is part of the Alamin Group's USA travel agency in New York. He says that until 2019, as many as 16,000 people from the United States would make the Hajj each year. But Saudi Arabia has instituted quotas to prevent overcrowding.
Right now, from America, it's like 4,000 to 5,000.
In April, the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia issued a travel alert, asking American pilgrims to reconsider going to Hajj due to the ongoing war between Iran and the U.S. So Ahmed sat his mom down and asked her if she wants to postpone the trip. Akhtar says she feels a strong conviction to go this year. She told her son to stay behind, as he has 2 small children. But he says he won't miss this chance.
I know it's a risk, but I also know that this chance may not come back around.
Performing the pilgrimage at least once is mandatory for all able-bodied Muslims who can afford the cost of travel. Imam Steve Mustafa Al-Turk is the co-chair of the Imams Council of Michigan. He says several people have asked him whether they should still go. He assures them it's safe. U.S. military installations in Saudi Arabia are far from the holy sites.
I really encourage them. So definitely there's nothing going on there in terms of war or missiles or anything of that sort.
In Washington, D.C., Sana Imam is preparing to make the Hajj later this month.
I'm still planning to go because the level of spiritual transformation that is possible to experience at Hajj might not be possible anywhere else for a lot of Muslims.
Imam says she's focusing her attention on preparing for the trip.
I've been doing like 30 minutes on the Stairmaster machine every time I go to the gym, just because Hajj involves miles on foot every day. Spiritually, I've been trying to slow down my prayers instead of rushing through them.
Although she's concerned about the ongoing war, Imam says she's leaning on her faith to get through this time of uncertainty. Hajj is performed between the 8th and the 13th of the Islamic month of Dhul Hijjah, which follows a lunar calendar. This year, that's May 25th until the 30th. For many American Muslims, the opportunity to go to Hajj outweighs their fear of not going to perform one of the greatest acts of worship in Islam.